Hi everybody, happy Saturday, happy new moon in Scorpio. It's been such a crazy couple of weeks, you guys. I really, I want to talk about this on another video, I think, about just the intensity that we've been through and all the crazy stuff. Looks like I'm a little off center here, so I'm going to adjust my thing. But anyway, I wanted to talk today about the new moon in Scorpio and give you guys some practical things that perhaps you can do a new moon ritual. Hey Magda. I love that I'm seeing comments. For a while I wasn't seeing comments on Facebook live streams, so I'm super excited that I get to interact with you guys through some comments. So yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. This Scorpio energy has kicked my butt. I don't know how you guys, but I love Scorpio. Usually you can hear my roommate's birds going crazy in the background, so they're going to join in our conversation today. They get really excited when they love what's going on. They get really excited, so they must be loving this video that we're going to do today. And when I'm doing sessions, especially the energy work, although lately also the oracle card readings, they get super excited when something's coming through that is really connecting with the client. They get super jazzed, so they're giving us their avian seal of approval. Hi everybody, I'm so excited to see you guys. So yes, the past couple of weeks have been insane. Scorpio, I love Scorpio energy. I have a lot of really good Scorpio friends, but I'm fucking telling you, like, this Scorpio season could not fucking be over soon enough. It's been super intense. So I think that because today is a new moon in Scorpio, this is an amazing opportunity to make peace with some things, to let go of some things, to give thanks for some things, and also open up into some new stuff, because we've got a few more days left in Scorpio before we change over into, is it Sag that's next? Yeah, I think it's Sag. Then this is an awesome opportunity to really just close this chapter, to open up for some new stuff, and to move the fuck on. Like, peace out. I see you in the rearview mirror. I'm not looking back. So for new moon ritual, I'm going to give you guys some practical stuff. I'm still nursing my coffee. I slept in really late this morning, so I'm a few hours behind. But I want to give you guys some things that I have done, or sort of give you my tips and tricks for doing new moon rituals. And this is, what I want to make clear before, we get into it is this is my approach at doing a new moon ritual. You may have other ways that work for you. You may have other people telling you other things. I'm not here to say what's right or wrong. I'm just here to say, hey, these are things that work for me. And maybe you'd like to take these ideas and do something for yourself. Now, the beautiful thing about rituals and things like altars and sacred ceremonies or ritual ceremonies is that really this is about you using a ritual to focus some intentions, to focus some energies. So there really is no right or wrong way. I think as long as your heart is in the right place and your intentions really are to say thanks, to release, to welcome, to integrate, to manifest, whatever it is, just being really clear about what your intentions are and really stepping forth and doing the best that you can do, I think that's all that is required. It's not like there's some celestial judge and jury up there saying, actually, no, that ritual wasn't very good, so we're not going to honor those requests. This is about, I think the best thing that ritual can do is to connect us with that inner place where what we're looking for already exists. To me, that is the power of a ritual, is it is a way for us to focus our energy, to focus our intention, and to focus our attention, and to really remind ourselves that, okay, I can tune into what it is that I'm calling in. I can find that frequency. I can create that space to allow it to show up, because you're the one that's creating this reality anyway. So using a ritual to really sort of boost everything, boost your intentions, boost your ideas and your desires is a really powerful thing. So Scorpio is a water sign, right? It's super watery, it's transformative, it is emotionally cleansing. Scorpio is all about the hidden, the unseen, the sort of secretive. I know you Scorpios love your secrets. So if you really want to think about it, think back to the Scorpio full moon. I have some notes here that I think was in May. So we have the May Scorpio full moon, and full moons are all about things coming to fruition, things coming to manifestation. It is the fullness. It is the fruit that is ready to pluck. New moon is all about clearing a space. New moon is all about planting seeds. New moon is all about a new beginning and an empty space, the void that we are putting our intentions and desires into. And with Scorpio, there's always an emotional element. No matter what it is, Scorpio is all about the feels. So allowing ourselves to consider emotional states as well when we're talking about manifestation, especially with the Scorpio moon, is super important, I think. So the first thing you can do is get your supplies. I'm gonna, so a notebook that you can write with, a pen, whatever pen. I love colored pens, but I'm gonna use a blue one, or I have been using a blue one. I've got my intention list started here. I have been using a blue one to represent the water, but whatever color works for you. So get your notebook and your pen, and then something to represent all four elements. So for earth, I'm using a quartz crystal. I like quartz because I consider it to be a magnifier and a purifier. So I always feel like, okay, if I'm working with a quartz crystal, that's always going to really intensify. Man, those birds are going crazy. Okay, you guys, I get it. You're into it. Quiet, please. So quartz is a great magnifier, and the element of earth represents grounding and rooting our manifestations and our desires into the physical. The earth is the physical manifestation of what I desire, what I'm calling in, my ideas, my inspirations. So finding something to represent earth. You can also use a handful of dirt if you want. Also a feather, so something for air. So you can use a feather. I have this really cool blue jay feather that I found. Also something that creates sacred smoke, so Palo Santo, sage, incense, anything that you use to create smoke, because smoke is a great representation of air, or a feather can also serve. Air sends out our desires to the universe, right? If you think about the air, the birds fly, coasting on the air, or air taking the balloon away. So air sends our desires out to the universe. It also can be used to bring in clarity of thought, to blow away the old thoughts, to blow away the old stuff. So think of the cleansing and purifying benefits of air. A candle to represent fire. I've got a little travel candle here, so I'm going to be going to the beach today, so I'm going to be doing my ritual there. So you can bring a little travel candle. I love this one. It smells so good. Honey tobacco, delicious. But any candle will work. Anything just to represent fire, because fire purifies, fire burns down the old growth, fire burns down the old structures. It's like the forest fire going, the fire raging through the forest. There's a lot of destruction, but underneath all of that destruction is the new growth, the new seeds, the new ideas, the new manifestation coming through. So something to represent fire, and then water. I'm going to actually be at the ocean today, so that'll be my water. But if you are at home or you're in a place where there is no water close to you, you can use a dish of water. You can use a shell or something that represents water to you. Water is cleansing and purifying. Water also deals with our emotions, and because this is a water new moon, water is really going to be magnified. So thinking of watery, those watery depths, the ebb and flow, the cycles of life, and how water can create and also destroy. Water is the nurturer. Water is the source, something that all life requires. So just having something to represent each element will really help. But again, if you guys don't have any of this, it's fine. You can just sit and get clear with a pen and a paper and just write your intentions. Make it as simple or as complicated as you want. The only thing that matters is that it feels authentic and real for you. So then creating a space for your ritual. If you have an altar, if you have a sacred space that's already dedicated, you can use that. If you don't, all you got to do is just kind of sit and say to yourself, even if you're just sitting at your desk, okay, I dedicate my desk and this space on my desk to the new moon ritual. That's really as complicated as it needs to be. You can burn some sage or some incense, some Palo Santo to cleanse your aura, to cleanse the energy, to really open it up and just sort of remove any old stuff, let all that debris go, get the mental clutter out. So smudge your space. You can also just imagine like cleansing the aura with a white light. Sometimes I'll just imagine that I've got like a shower above me. You can also do this in the shower if you want to get really into it. You can take a shower before the ritual specifically to cleanse your aura, so that you step forward just pure of intent and your energy is clear. But you can just imagine like, shower of white light moving through your body and moving through your aura, just washing away anything that you're ready to let go of. Then once you've sat down and you've found your items and you've kind of dedicated your space, smudged or smoked your space, You can even use like these sprays. I have this really yummy Ascension spray from Temple Tree Organics. And I love this spray. And I'll use this as a sacred spray. I'll use this just because it smells good. So there's a million different ways that you can take care of all of these elements of the ritual. Again, it doesn't have to be the way that I'm doing it. I'm just telling you what works for me. So then you sit and you say, okay, I'm going to call out each item. You say, I'm bringing in this crystal to represent the element of earth to ground my desires into the physical. I'm lighting this candle to honor the element of fire for transformation and, create space for new growth. I'm, burning this Palo Santo or this smudge, or I'm spraying this spray and I use this feather to represent the element of air, to bring in higher thought, to bring in higher levels of cognition, and to carry my desires out to the universe. And then you have your water. You can have your bowl of water, or I'm going to be at the ocean, but you can have your bowl of water and say, I dedicate this water to represent I dedicate this to represent the element of water, to come in and purify me emotionally, to represent the ebb and the flow of life, and to honor all the cycles. Done, right? It doesn't have to be super complicated. And then you sit, and once you have all of your elements represented on your altar or in your space, then you can call in your helpers, your angels, your guides, the universe, your spirit animals, any, whatever beings you work with. If you have an affinity and you would like them to come and help you out, you can put, let's say I don't have one, but if you have a little figurine that represents a loved one, if you have a photograph of a loved one, or you can just say, hey, Granny or Uncle Bob or Archangel Michael, come in and help me out with this ritual. I'd love for you to participate. Done. Then you're going to sit and you're going to ground yourself. I think one of the most important things to do whenever we are doing any sort of ritual is to really ground ourselves in the moment, to really take a second to really be clear on where we are at this point in time, and to really anchor ourselves in the body. Because think about it, what we are doing with this new moon ritual and setting intentions is we are calling things into physical. We are asking for things to physically show up in our world. Or we are calling them in. So taking a second to connect to that physical world, I think, is really important. So you can just sit, just close your eyes, and just take a minute, a few minutes, 5 minutes really, and just really sit with your body. Really be aware of, okay, I feel the clothes on my body. I feel the chair underneath me. I feel the floor or the ground or the earth underneath my feet. I'm really allowing myself to be present into my body. Using your breath to really anchor yourself into the body. The birds love that. And really feel yourself in the moment. You can even imagine roots growing out from the bottoms of your feet. And imagine the roots going into the earth. Whatever way helps you feel super anchored and super present in the moment will help. Then you're going to sit and you're going to get your pen and paper. And what I would recommend doing is just begin to think about, if you want to get really deep, think about all of the things that have come in since that full moon in May. So the past 6 months. If you think about, man, Birdie, you are loving this, aren't you? They're kind of starting to bug me, to be honest. But I'm grateful for your voice. You've clearly found your voice. Think about the things that have happened for you over the past 6 months. Is there something that you have been contending with that maybe has been really challenging, but you've learned a lot? Is there something that's come in that's been a new, exciting development? Are there lessons that you have learned? Are there things that you have experienced that have really pushed you or expanded you or taken you to a new place? Whether or not they were positive, or at the time maybe you thought like, oh, this fucking sucks, but now you look back and you go, actually, that was a really good thing. Sit and take for a second and honor the things that you have experienced over the past 6 months. Being really, really clear to say, this new thing that came in, that if you're ready to release it, I am really ready to let this go. I am grateful for the lessons I have learned. I am grateful for everything that it has taught me. And I'm really, really grateful to see it leave. Or if it's something that you're still experiencing, like, man, this new relationship or this new professional collaboration, I'm really, really grateful for how this has pushed me or all that this has brought me. And I'm really excited to see how this continues. It doesn't have to be something that you're ready to let go of necessarily. It can also be something that you're just really excited to honor and say thank you for. So sit down, take a minute to kind of write those things down, or you can just focus on them and really begin to open yourself up to the energy of gratitude. And then you can say, thank you, universe, guides, God, angels, whatever it is that you want to say thank you to, for helping me to release, and then read all of the things that you've written down. I freely and gratefully release them now. So taking a second to say thank you for all the things that you're ready to let go of, or that you're saying thank you for and giving gratitude for, and then you're going to read that list. Now it's time to think about what you want to call in. And I like to start my list with something like, I allow all of this or something greater to emerge in my reality. And when you're writing things down, this is a really good time to allow yourself to think big. Think beyond what perhaps your small, limited perspective would think is even possible. And really, there's nothing wrong with thinking big. And if you don't fully manifest it, then cool, you can continue to ask for it, or you can continue to refine your request and get more specific. So allowing yourself to really think big, like, what do I really want to call in? Like, what would I really love to see manifesting in my reality? And also allowing yourself to be more general about how it can show up. There are many different ways that things can show up. So you don't have to get super focused on how. For an example, rather than saying, I want to win the lottery, you could say, I call in divine abundance in all forms to bring me greater material wealth than I have ever experienced. How about that, right? So now I'm not saying that it has to come through the lottery, because if you think about all the ways that money could manifest or physical wealth could manifest, if I'm saying I want to win the lottery, I've just eliminated a whole bunch of ways that it can show up, right? Same thing with relationships. Rather than saying, I want Joe to be my boyfriend, maybe you can say something like, I call in the ideal partner for me to create a divine union with. So it doesn't have to be super specific. It can be, but just consider that the more specific you are, the less you're really opening yourself up to receive it in unexpected ways. You could also say, I call in the resources to support and honor all of my financial needs. Also making sure that you are focusing on feelings. So I think it's important to allow yourself to ask for specific things, a new car, more money, a relationship, a new job, whatever. But also don't forget to focus on the feelings that you want to experience and the emotional life that you want to have manifest. Because here's the thing, Scorpio being a water sign deals so much with the emotional realm. Scorpio is those watery, hidden depths of dreams and desires, and oftentimes the things that are hidden that we're not even really admitting to ourselves that we want. So allow yourself to focus on feelings. So for an example, I wrote that, let me just, one of the things that I wrote, so I wrote down some things that I wanted to manifest, like, allowing myself to fully experience each moment, creating space to allow clarity to emerge, taking better care of my physical vessel through self-care and exercise, trusting myself more completely. So I wrote some things down that were sort of feeling and emotional, and then some things that were actually physical that I wanted to call in. But then what I wrote was a list of feelings, and for those of you who have gone through my emotional architecture exercise, this will sound familiar to you. I wrote down a list of feelings that I wanted to experience. And one of the things that I wrote was, let me just pick one, was trusting. You know, one of the things that I've been dealing with a lot through the Scorpio season is really moving into a very deep sense of trust and allowing myself to be in this emotional state without necessarily compromising my trust or my faith in my experience. But then I started to think, okay, but what does trust mean to me? So I wrote my list of emotional experiences that I wanted, and then I added, okay, for each one, I wrote down, okay, this is what this means for me. So I'll give you an example. So trust, to me, if I really sit with what does trust feel like when I am trusting, or when I am in a place of being trusting or faithful, what does that feel like? So to me, it was honest. It was kind, it was open, it's me being a man of my word, it's free-flowing, it is present in the moment, it is transparent, it is clear, it is crystalline. So those are all of the things that I felt for me described the feeling or the experience of trust. So you can go super, super micro and really granular with this if you want to. I think the more specific, see, here's the thing. So the more open and general we can be about our material things and how they come to us, right? Like financial abundance rather than I want to win the lottery, or a healthy, happy, balanced, divine partnership rather than I want to be with Joe Smith. So with our physical things, if we are more general about how they show up, and then with our emotional things, get really specific. When you say, I want to be happy, okay, well, what does happy mean for you? Your idea of happiness and my idea of happiness, I guarantee you, are probably very, very different in many ways. So by allowing yourself to be very specific about the feelings, what does abundance mean for you? Is that an abundance of time? Is that an abundance of freedom? Is that an abundance of creative ideas? So getting really specific about these sometimes general emotional requests can really help to clarify what it is that you're calling in. So once you have your list of things that you're calling in, then you're going to sit, you're going to get clear and connected, and you're going to read your list, starting with, I allow all of this or something greater to emerge in my reality with grace, gratitude, and ease now as I am. Or something along those lines. That's what I like to say. And then you read your list. Now, once you have sat with your list of things you're ready to release, that you're grateful for, that you're ready to let go of, and then reading your list of things that you're excited to call in and manifest, now you can do several things. It's time to sort of complete the ritual and send those intentions off. Since this moon is in a water sign, you can find a way to put your intention in the water. Maybe you put that piece of, maybe you just put that piece of paper into your bowl of water. Maybe you find a way to release it into the ocean. Obviously, you don't really want to litter. So maybe you can hold onto a stone that you find at the ocean and just hold that stone and infuse that stone with the intentions. Let that represent your list and throw the stone into the water. You can bury it by a body of water, or if it is, recyclable, biodegradable, soy-based paper and ink, maybe you could put it into the water. I don't know. I'll leave that on you. You can also burn the list if you want to set fire to the list and then just scatter the ashes or throw them into the air. I've also seen people tie the list to a balloon and set the balloon free. I mean, really, it's up to you how you want to do it. But just finding a way to sort of complete it and to tie up your ritual in a bow. You can also carry the list with you. This is another way to do it, is to keep it in a wallet or in your pocket or your purse or wherever, and carry it with you. And as you see things manifesting and you go, wow, here it is. The thing that I asked for is here. Say thank you and check it off your list. So there's many different ways that you can complete it. Then once you have completed it, say thank you to the elements. Just extinguish your candle. I don't recommend blowing it. Just capping the candle or snuffing it out. That is kind of one of those esoteric beliefs that when you're blowing out the candle, you're saying, I don't need you anymore, sort of blowing it off, so to speak. So I always just extinguish them without blowing them. But again, whatever you believe is correct for you. And then really just clearing the space, saying thank you. You can keep your little altar or your sacred space intact for a few days if you want to, because new moon energies are about 2 to 3 days before and after the new moon. So the next few days will still carry powerful, supportive of your intentions. And say thank you. Thanks to my angels, my granny, Archangel Michael, the universe, whatever, my, animal spirit. Thanks for showing up and helping me out. Taking a second, say thank you, and then you close the ritual. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And again, I am offering to you what has worked for me. If you're not really entirely sure of what you want to do, Google it, New Moon Rituals. If you're not really feeling the recommendations that I made, sit down and make up your own. The beautiful thing, again, about rituals and altars and sacred spaces is they belong to you. This is really a place where you can focus your intentions and your desires and your energies. And other than that, you just got to have fun with it. So that's it, you guys. Have a fantastic weekend. I am going to get ready to go to the beach with a friend and do my new moon ritual. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I'll be talking to you soon. Love you. Bye. Mwah.